rocket lands on Namada, but otherwise he's going to be A-OK. Faker wanting to get into position here is... All right, Khan, that is aggressive. Man. Goes into his stopwatch, but the Chompers are going to be there, and Lava does pick up that kill in the end. Super Mega Death Rocket softens up these members of SKT in the front line.
Oh, Teddy.
Oh, no, this is a disaster. He's over onto the red buff, trying to get some health back here. We'll be able to take this one most likely. Nope, that's stolen. That's Lava that picks that one up, and that was definitely optimistic for Teddy there.
Is not going the way of SK Telecom here in this game. Songyun coming over, clearing out some vision as Thal ends up starting the Mountain Drake, and this will definitely help the Jinx shred through that Baron. There's also still some tier 2 turrets remaining for SK Telecom.
May as well grab the Baron buff before you take those ones down, though. I have a feeling that Hanwha should be able to get it pretty easily. As
I don't know what Khan was doing here. There's actually... There's nothing to analyze. It's just he was trying to poke the bear.
That was not a flawless duet.
That was definitely not a flawless duet. That was not. That was like an American Idol audition.
Oh no!
You know
one of the bad ones.
Yeah, like the first round.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's bad news bears.
Definitely bad news bears. So here, I mean, the gold gap has remained relatively close as the game has been dragging on, and so what SK Telecom are going to need to do is they're going to need to do their best Griffin cosplay and try to out-muscle Hanwha Life inside of an extended team fight. And if they can do that, they can definitely get back into the game. All it would try to out one team fight victory for this game to become even. Look at the bounties on the side of Hanwha.
850 for the Jinx. They need to find Songyun out of position. The thing that's really, really hard, though, is to play around Key in his position, because Key has been playing this game so far extraordinarily well. He got the advantage bottom side of the map, he's had the dark passages when they need them, and he's been able to land these Key hooks. So making sure Songyun isn't in Key range is going to be important for SKT as well. We mentioned that this is a finesse composition. Well, they're going to need even more of it with a 5,000 gold deficit. SKT with all 5 members are here, and Marta's going to go for this one. The Dark Passage is available, and Songyun does take it in order to get out. Bono is going to be taken, but Marta is going to be traded for it. Zoe picks up that kill. That's a big flash already utilized as Faker trying to get out of there, but look at these rockets. Pow is going nuts into the backline. The slow lands from the zap and lost for about forever, as Songyun's the one that picks up the kill in the end. No Vayne, no worries. The bottom lane is destroyed, and without a smite, Hanwha going to go for the Baron.
Hanwha now pathing over to the left-hand side. Lava.
Aggressive as Khan dives forward and just cops the paddle start of the face. Interesting.
Lava knows that he's not needed to actually take the Baron, and so he's just trying to deal as much damage as possible to some of these carries on the side of SK Telecom. Thal now on duty to try to stop the Lee Sin. You can see that he's just looking for a rune prison.
Yep, and the Baron is just going to get taken down. Lava from over the wall. No way that Glid was going to make his way in there. So Baron goes for free over to Hanwha Life after the bottom lane of SKT gets taken down. Let's have a look at this fight one more time.
And you can see the fight starts off reasonably well, but then Songyun, via that Fresh Lantern, able to get out relatively okay. Olaf goes down, but then Faker ends up eating an enormous amount of damage. Clit escapes by the skin of his teeth. And then the Realm Warp able to get Songyun back into a good position, able to finalize the kill onto Teddy there. As SK Telecom, it looks pretty dim.
It does. It certainly does. And I just feel like this Jinx pickup was the nail in the coffin. It really did mean that Hanwha not only had control in the early game with the extra range that Jinx provides, but also gives them an insurance policy as they move into the later stages. So Hanwha just playing this front-to-back composition with the extra safety of Key's Peel. Key's Peel. Get it?
Key and Peel?
Yeah, that was part of my joke. Yeah, it's just really beautiful to watch here from Hanwha Life. And this is the kind of team fight that they like, as Clid tries to go for the Hail Mary, but he doesn't really have much of a health bar. And he's just going to die before he can really do anything. I do respect it. I respect the idea. But it's not going to win you the game here on SKT's side. They're just too far behind. They're going to take down one inhibitor. Humble Life now just looking to try and end this game. 4 versus 5. Redemption's going to come in, and look at this. The Jinx just does so much damn damage to these Nexus turrets. Marta once again throws out the ultimate, but finds no joy onto anyone. Tal in the front line. He's going to go into the Zhonya's. Final hour has been popped, but Teddy just dies. It's the Thresh that even picks up that kill. Is now Faker. He's in the Shroud, and he might just die before anything happens. He does. Lava picks up that kill, and Khan goes back to the fountain. He's looking for the next game. Klid's going to respawn, but he respawns just to watch his Nexus die. Sungyun's trying to get these auto attacks onto the members on their fountain as Khan does go down. That's going to be that. Hanwha Life onto the fountain here just to grab extra kills here for Sungyun, and the Nexus will fall in the end. Hanwha draw first blood today against SK Telecom T1. They'll need to go back to the... Yeah?
Doesn't. I mean... Number 2 here probably should feel so easy for SK Telecom to be like, okay, well, we're gonna recalibrate our initial draft plans and now just answer everything that you want to do because you showed your hand face up that early.
Yep.
Probably not going to be the case though.
It's also just, it's really dangerous to do on the red side as well because you give away all of that power because they've given away both their solo lanes potentially, unless Sungyun's going to be moving the Vladimir towards the bottom lane. Galio going to be picked up here. Faker could be playing it, of course, but it's likely going into the hands of Marta to create that bottom lane. Hanwha Life now, what do they show us? Do they lock in a jungler here? Try and help Bono out, give him some priority.
Alright, well, we'll have to see what way they're going with this. Maybe they're going to keep everything a little... Yeah, that would have been very interesting, but instead it does look like it will be the Rek'Sai.
Alright, she's going to help try and shore up the early game. I don't mind this from Hanwha Life. Bono does play aggressively very, very well, and that's exactly where Rek'Sai is good. And then you allow Vladimir to take over in the late game, where Rek'Sai becomes basically useless. So I don't mind it. Don't mind it at all.
So right now, Hanwha Life maybe just tries to pinch the support champion pool rather than the AD carry.
So we're going to be banned. Just take that option away from Faker.
But Faker could just be on the Galio.
He could.
In mid lane. That is something that we have seen lately. We have seen some teams try to utilize Galio from the middle lane. And obviously SK Telecom are one of the historic teams that loved using the mid lane Galio for Faker.
SKT just wondering where they want to pinch right now. The Shen is going to be banned, just to deny that Vladimir Shen lane that's so incredibly popular here in Korea.
Still on the take in here.
Play here. Really does get punished.
Well, and Klid ends up getting spotted out as well.
Situation, really, isn't it?
Yep. Also interesting to note, he has the Dark Seal refillable, so no corrupting potion, as Lava making a bit of some blunders here. Yeah, this is definitely the opposite of what is good.
Sometimes some sad things can happen when it comes to
and Klid ends up getting spotted out as well.
Oh, Bono going to prey seek him, letting him know that he knows what's going on. That was really, really nice spawn.
Yeah.
Twitch there from Faker to get the Colossal Smash on top of Lava as well. That's going to get him the health advantage, but he misses out on that minion. As it dies to the turret, both of these mid laners just trying to get the shove in their favor. But Klepto's working out here for Lava so far, and it means that because he's taken that particular keystone, he's just going to want to farm things up, not exactly going to be hyper-aggressive trying to get electrocute procs or anything like that here in the mid lane.
Bono actually ends up taking the entire Raptor camp. Faker whiffs on the Justice Punch right there. Lava was finally able to get some value out of the Kleptomancy, picks up a gold satchel. Mata coming in here, checking on the Krug camp.
Yeah, Klid's actually going to find a Krug camp here as well, but it looks like it is going to be some successful counter jungling here from Bono. Did manage to get the big Krug before he heads back towards his blue side jungle. We'll be able to eat all of these camps as well. So Rek'Sai very happy when she can just get her power farm on. We'll be able to continue doing so. Tal's looking pretty comfortable up here towards the top side. We mentioned the fact that Rise versus Vladimir, difficult for Vladimir. But as this game goes on, he will still be Vladimir. Oh, I didn't use the Crimson Rush. That feels bad.
Does feel bad indeed, as Unreal Life probably not feeling as good as they were in game number 1 here. Everything definitely a lot more even, especially in the jungle department. Oh,
really nice tongue lash there as well, as Teddy's getting the frost shots across. A lot of damage now onto the Hanwha bottom side as SKT just bully themselves back. Complete control of this lane. Hanwha will make their way back in though. They're going to be okay. I just feel like Ashtam Kench has been such a good lane for so long, and a lot of people have been, you know, somewhat sleeping on just how strong it is. Hasn't been Hanwha though. They know exactly what this lane is capable of. It was them and Gen G that were really absolute lovers of this particular duo bottom side.
Mid lane doesn't look like Lava is getting the most value out of his Kleptomancy. He does have a mana potion, but I am curious, I guess, how much more is he getting out of some of these things? Faker still no Darksteel. He actually just elected for the Sapphire Crystal.
Yeah, just goes back. He's feeling pretty comfortable at the moment. Looks like he's building towards the Lost Chapter. First up here, as that's Demolish Corruption Smart is able to pick up there. Very, very close to getting the first plate here on the bottom side. Also, Smash goes down. Faker just tanking some autos as the Klepto's working, and Bono's going to look to find his way back in. Taunt goes out, but Hanwha playing very respectfully, understanding that Clid could be there, and he was.
Oh, even more value going on there. But the gold score at the top, despite the Kleptomancy. Oh, we're finally getting a quick peek at it. Faker ahead, despite being behind in CS. Only ahead by about 70 though, so definitely not the most successful Kleptomancy here.
Not so much. Lava wanting to use his range advantage there as well, but unfortunately it's Galio, so he feels like he's a range champion instead of the melee champion that it says on the box. Still, copping autos left and right here from Lava. And he's got a sack of gold, so there we go. There's the value. So he comes back to the mid lane, trying to get Faker a decent back timing. Lava comes down. Faker doesn't get the twitch on the taunt, and that means that a couple of procs of those Kleptomancy stacks going to come in. And Lava going to clear out this minion wave as well. So just trying to get back to base comfortably are the mid laners. Bono heads back up towards the top side, and he's going to go over a ward as well. It's creative gank placement, but Khan knows exactly what's going on. Greyseeker comes in, isn't going to get hit by the turret, so he's going to be okay as Tal comes on up as well. Unsuccessful gank.
Does end up finding out about the control ward, though, in that river brush. And so, right now, SK Telecom probably feeling very good. So he's going to start his red buff right now. Bono does have the rubber-banded Krug camp at the top, as Teddy freezing down here in bottom. Not having to relive the Vayne Jinx memories from the previous game.
Yeah, probably feeling much more comfortable this time around. He's gone back, got himself the Vamp Scepter. That's another taunt landing, but Lava's able to get back to his distortion. He's A-okay. Looking forward to seeing what this LeBlanc can actually get done around this mid-game, because she is part of the bridge. She is part of the answer here for Hanwha to try and get the Vladimir and the Kai'Sa towards these late-game fights where they can really shine. Well, Lava and Bono, a lot of the onus is on them to help Hanwha through this.
And so far in this game, it looks like everyone is probably just going to be content on allowing this to get to the team fighting stage without any sparks really flying, although SK Telecom certainly going to be able to at least get a plate down here in bottom lane.
Yep, we'll be able to get it right here. Teddy picks himself up an extra 80 gold alongside Mata. Might be able to get to another one here as well, as these 3 caster minions going to go down eventually. So Hanwha do at least save that second one. Lava is just toying with Faker at the moment, being very frustrating. And honestly, lanes where you're up against someone with Kleptomancy, sometimes you can get that rush of blood to the head, you know? It's like, oh, they've taken a keystone that doesn't do anything as far as the power, and then you just make weird choices. And it doesn't quite work out. Of course, Faker a better player than that, but we can all relate to going up against some of these Klepto players. So far, Lava is behind by about 12 CS. So we'll see where the Klepto's actually kept him in it. Or not. Faker, of course, known for his CSD. throughout his entire career. It's Khan just pushing wave after wave into Tal, and Tal's probably pretty comfortable with it. As he is, of course, going to be behind, but you're not going to dive at Vladimir. He's pretty comfortable now that he's underneath that turret.
He's down almost about 20 CS. He does have a little bit of a minion wave in front of his turret. Plate, though, going over to Khan.
Yeah, and in games that SKT win, it's often Khan picking up plates.
Yeah.
By himself as well, and Clid making his way up to try and help out. So this is a great sign for SKT fans. SKT do move themselves to a slight gold advantage at this stage. Key comes in, lands the Winter's Bite. Q's going to come in response from Clid as well.
And Ash and Thomas Kench were right there in the event that anything would have broken out.
That was a Justice headbutt there from Faker. He's going to get a few autos.
Taking a little bit of damage. He's also down a level, as he has been zoned out of quite a bit of CS. You can see that Kais is about level 6.7, maybe 6.8. And Teddy is already in level 7, so...
This has a lot to do with Key having to move himself around the map to try and save people, but he might actually just be taken down here. The exhausts are going to be traded, but that is a very dead Braum. Oh, gets the flash. Stand behind me's there, but Justice punches exactly that. Hanwha are looking for this one, though, as Teddy comes out. Lava dashes on over. Hanwha can't find their way in, and SKT, a beautiful first blood.
Yeah, and they get a lot out of this as well. They get the teleport out of Thal. They get the flash out of Bono. They pick up some of the spells onto Key as well, and they pull Songyun all the way over. And so this game is not looking anything like game number 1 as SK Telecom. They're off to a fantastic lead. They are trading the Mountain Drake for the Rift Herald, but with 3.5 minutes remaining on all of the plates, this is definitely something that SK Telecom can feel comfortable doing, as they can really try to accelerate that rise for the Galio.
And they're also happy to do this because we know the Mountain Drake ain't a great Drake if you're behind. So you may as well pick up Shelly, open up this map even more, and make sure that Hanwha don't have any time where they're up close and personal with these turrets. Lid's going to throw it immediately towards the top side, and this is part of the SKT win condition. I absolutely love this from the squad, keeping their heads in the game.
Oh, they're bringing Faker over as well. I think that they want to maybe try to even kill Thal, but Lava making his way up here into top lane.
Yep, Lava's going to get there. Winds of War are going to come down, and Tal takes way too much damage. Pre-Seeker not going to find the Gargoyle, is now Khan relatively low on mana. Q's going to land, but he does have the Sanguine Pool, so of course no danger of dying just yet. Tower survives with a couple of plates still intact. Hanwha only 1,000 gold behind, but this was a great first blood to come in from SKT to get them on the right foot already.
We take a look at how everything here transpired. It was just very simple Abyssal Voyage. Key not realizing that Galio was going to clap him, regardless of whatever he would try, and Mata making sure that Teddy got to safety, as Lava and Thal were not able to do anything inside of that fight. Now, Thal is locked up here in the top lane as Khan. You like that?
Carl? Yeah.
You like that, Carl?
Good old Carl.
You know that means knife in Korean?
Is it?
Cal, yeah.
I didn't know that. Team plate goes down as Tal's tanking out the minions, just gets kicked in the head. Doesn't even have time to queue. Good knock up there from Bono, but he's outside of the turret range, and that is 2 free kills for SKT. A misplay on Hanwha's side. Good flash from Songyun, bottom side of the map, but that's not what you want to be doing. Defensive flashes here to try and keep your turret alive. This is SKT starting to flex on Hanwha.
Yeah, and SK Telecom, they're going to be at a 3,000 gold lead here soon. Khan going to pick up the very last plate and also get himself, I believe, the first... Yeah, he's definitely going to get the first blood turret here. Saul does not have teleport available. Plates are still going down in bottom lane, and I like what he's doing. He's letting the turret finish off almost all of the minions. Just one remains.
Yep, they're going to be taking down all these creeps just before he heads back and buys a whole bunch of items. Archangel's already completed. And let's have a look at this one once again. It was a bit of a cavalcade of errors. The Hemoplague does come down. Khan does flash, but
the really surprising
flash
thing
kick and he's dead.
Yeah, Khan ended up flashing, but he definitely didn't need to. Obviously, that was a really good kick.
Still making sure that he's okay. Lava here in the mid lane. Just trying to hang on to his turret. He's lost a couple of plates here as well. Mimic Distortion just to close distance here as Lava's just trying to make some money off Faker. Gets over once again. This is actually pretty cute. Gets back, doesn't land the next chain.
Manages to repel the Galio for now.
That was really nice to do with Lava. The bait and switch over and over again.
4K gold deficit here almost, though, at 14 minutes. So even though you have the Mountain Drake, you're not going to be in the driver's seat anytime soon to make use of it. And with the Cloud Drake coming up next, it's not one that Hanwha Life feels good about.
Yeah, Key going to get tagged by that Q. That stops a couple of backs here as well, so tempo. Slight advantage here for SKT, denying that refresh of all of the vision from Hanwha. Stormrazor is done now for Sangyun. Does have himself that pickaxe as well, so a couple of evolutions are well and truly on the way for the Kai'Sa. I believe the Supercharger still needs some Berserker's Greaves and maybe a dagger or two, but otherwise he's very, very close to being online. But is it actually in time is the question. He's reached parity as far as farm is concerned, but Global Gold is certainly in favor of SKT after all of the plates and everything else that went down in the early game.
And I mean, we just saw those plates, SK Telecom, they ended up getting 9, so I'm not quite impressed. As Hanwha Life did manage to get 10.
Yeah, it's not the 15 that they managed to get against BBQ.
Definitely not. You know, so they should probably try a little bit harder.
Yeah, well, Klid's going to try a little bit harder here as well. That's going to be the taunt, but it's only on to Bono. Key comes in, tries to sack himself for the good of his team, but he's not even going to get taken down. Tal fighting against Khan on the top side of the map is understandable here that Khan's having a great time, but Hanwha have repelled the aggression from SKT for now. Despite lands onto a minion, Key trying to get himself into position. That's the empowered Q, but look at how much damage Sangyun's taking. The Devour comes forward as Mata was tanking up that turret. Klid tried to land the Q, didn't. Tal is just getting abused.
Almost like it's different teams.
Yeah.
Than game number 1. The roles are reversed here.
It's a complete switcheroo, as that ward there is going to give a lot of value over to Hanwha, but they're not actually going for it. Yep. Kick back there from Klid. He gets the safeguard. He's going to be absolutely fine. And we go back towards the top side as Tal is getting completely obliterated.
Yeah, he's getting completely annihilated up here in the top lane. About 50% HP on the top tier 2 turret. This is one of the worst feelings in the world if you are the Vladimir.
And also, I mean, the Raptor camp is getting taken on respawn from the Ryze as well. This is why we say the Ryze is the blocker pick for the Vladimir. If you want to pick the Vlad, ban the Ryze. Or at least have some sort of way of flexing the Vlad out of the Ryze lane. Hanwha had made no attempt to do that at all. It was just Tal saying, give me the Vlad, I'll do it.
And the other interesting thing is that they chose 2 champions that are not that great into the Ryze. You had the LeBlanc and you had the Vladimir, which is just very bizarre. And so here in game number 2, we're sort of seeing what Hanwha Life do, what SK Telecom did in game 1.
Yeah. The question is, do Hanwha Life have more late game insurance than SKT? And my, I guess, original thought is yes. I mean, Vladimir and Kai'Sa are pretty good when it comes to late game carries, and SKT's composition was more about having control and finesse in team fights where you can get on top of a Jinx that was way too safe.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite feel like that sort of situation here where it feels like Hanwha trumped SKT in game number 1. However, with Khan being so incredibly big, SKT can just run Hanwha around the map and create gigantic leads for themselves. As Faker's looking for lava, not going to be able to find him just yet. It's not over, but it just feels really, really hard for Hanwha to win. And we know that SKT are just so good at closing out these sorts of games from slight leads in the early game.
Yeah. And it's about a 4.5k gold lead here in SK Telecom's favor. Mountain Drake coming up in 3.5 minutes. And they should be relatively content with just farming up passively until that dragon comes up, in which case they should definitely be able to look to capitalize on it.
Yep, 3 minutes. Don't worry just yet. This Tremor Sense is going to spot out Khan. He's going to stand on this control ward. See, the Tremor Sense is still working out. Some Brambleback. Does come up. It's going to be traded across the map here, though. Lava's holding on to mid lane. Dives on top of Teddy. Lands himself the chain as Mata, I don't think, had the Devour. Did find it eventually. Lava's going to use basically his whole health bar just to harass Teddy a little.
Klid was just waiting on the horizon for something to potentially do, but not going to find it. As now 2.5 minutes until the Mountain Drake comes up. Nothing really too exciting happening, and so on real life, they can at least take solace in knowing that they're going to at least get one team fight to try to turn this game around.
It's just, when is that team fight going to happen?
Now,
The question that I have. I guess Mountain Drake could be the opportunity, unless SKT are just going to shut them out with the extra vision that they will have. Faker steals away the majority of the popcorn chickens, and Bono's going to feel really upset about it.
the really scary thing, too, is that if that Mountain Drake does go in favor of Hanwha Life and they end up not only winning the fight, but also the Dragon, they can easily convert into a Baron with even just 2 members remaining.
Yeah.
Because double Mountain Drake. So this is a very high-pressure moment inside of the game where if Hanwha Life can try to get some sort of a flank on the Vladimir and easy access to Teddy, wow, they might be able to get something done and achieved, but Teddy's not the only threat. The rise is massive.
Well, Faker going for a very deep teleport here as Khan's just looking to keep them busy. Arrow's going to go wide, but it's a good flash to get out of the way. 4-man taunt here from Faker on the Galio. We know how well he can teamfight. As the LeBlanc is already dead, it's Clid that just gets rid of her. A defensive hero's entrance is now. The Sangwon pulls in the backline, but the exhaust is fantastic, and the Vladimir does nothing. Double kill going over to the Rise, and SKT continue to have control in this game.
And it looks like they are keen on trying to push mid tier 2 turret and then maybe falling back after an inhibitor turret push into consuming the Dragon, but I mean, this game is all but over, Atlas. It is
it's
over
20 minutes
a 6,000 gold lead here
Yeah.
at 20. It's about to go up a little bit more. 7,000 now. Inhibitor turret going to fall, and it wouldn't just be a surprise to see SK Telecom fall back.
Nope, they are going to fall back, so it looks like they can go for a reset if they want, and then try and go for some sort of Baron play. But SKT at the moment, it is getting to the point where smacking them with your wallet is the thing that you can do. 7,000 gold. Now the lead. Couple of items. They're just in a great position in this game with the composition that they have. And look at how many tools Hanwha used. That meant that they weren't available. Glacial Fissure would have been pretty good in this next fight that was upcoming. Unbreakable as well would have been a pretty good one.
Would have been all right, as Kai'Sa forced the flash away right there, but Faker just doing so much work inside of this fight, and even though Vladimir was able to get here, it was just a little too late.
Yeah. And Clid, the Hemo Plague damage, not enough because the Vow came in right after it went down. None of that amplification working out. So Tal is not at the scary Vladimir territory. In fact, he's the opposite of the scary Vladimir. Haven't seen too many of these so far in the LCK. It's felt like Vladimir has just basically won every game. The arrow is going to land onto the Kai'Sa. That's just message sent that he's saying, all right, I hit it. Now I'm going to go. QSS should be done now. You would like to finish it off? No, just grabs a couple of control wards. Moves his way back out here. Don't know whether QSS is actually going to be the option for Teddy. Probably doesn't need it, given the fact that Martyr exists.
Well, Infernal Dragon coming up in 4.5 minutes. Probably doesn't even need to get to that point, as SK Telecom should be able to end the game off of just one Baron push. They are just so far ahead right now. Lava trying to come in, maybe get some Klepto procs additionally, but it's not a very good feeling.
No.
Right now for Hanwha Life.
Natal's also only sitting on about 30% CDR at the moment as well, assuming he's gone to the right. Rune set up because he's rushed towards Rabadon's Death Cap before the Fiendish Codex comes in. Very, very strange. I mean, this was the build popularized by Noguri to make sure that you can get to that 45 CDR as quickly as you can. Not going to be taken here from Tal. Well, felt like he had too much pressure on him.
And the Death Cap just doesn't really do anything. Look at the amount of magic resist that is on the side of SK Telecom, and I'm not entirely sure of all of their runes, but I'm curious as well if maybe there's some nullifying, what is it called?
Yeah, the
you know
nullifying orb thing. Yeah.
The thingamajig?
The thingamajig that gives you the slight extra capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But this is a nightmare situation for Vladimir and LeBlue.
Yeah, but it feels pretty good for SKT as now Faker wants to find that taunt, gets it onto Bono. That's an easy one. After Key goes down as an afterthought. Arrow lands beautifully as Teddy gets the flash, but doesn't actually get the next auto. Onto Bono. Tal dives into the backline. The Sanguine pull's good. Hemoplete gives him some health back, and then he's dead. The Vandal Vladimir sinks into the ground and gives away the Baron to SKT.
That was one of the worst feelings, I think, that I've ever witnessed for a Vladimir. As Lava tries to come in here, do some damage, but...
Oh my goodness. Ash actually got the Baron, so that is huge. That would have been so close from Lava.
Been a really feels bad man moment.
Or feels good man.
Or feels good man. It depends on how you look at it, you know? Depends how you look at it. But
one man's feels bad man is another man's feels good.
Is that so?
That's what you have to remember.
Okay.
That's some good chat wisdom for you right there. As we check out this one once again. SKT, it just feels like they have all the control in these fights. Teddy, no one really closing the distance on him. This is really sad. As Bono survives with about 1 health. Calculation just a little bit off there from Teddy. But Tal's not the kind of Vladimir that we're used to seeing here in the LCK, and we're going to witness it one more time as another fight is broken out. Faker makes his way forward. Teddy takes down Bono very easily. Khan, is going completely nuts in the backline. And that is going to be the triple kill for the Ash, and SKT should win the game.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's looking pretty close right now, Atlas. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I know. 12-0,
yeah.
5-0 in turrets. Over 10,000 gold lead.
Almost a perfect game. Yeah, that one Mountain Drake, that pesky Mountain Drake.
Exactly.
Getting away from them.
Arrow. Narrowly avoided by Lava by staying still.
I actually think that they could have potentially ended the game with how far ahead they are.
Yeah.
But instead, choosing to be Captain Careful, they back up. They can definitely end it with one more Doom push. Would be very surprised to see them wait for an Infernal Dragon.
This makes game number 3 so exciting, though, because Khan versus Tal has been one-sided both times in favor of either player. And yes, the Aurelia made some mistakes, and that's what threw the lane back in favor of Tal, but this time it was Khan just playing way better. This team fight was, yes, one of my favorite things to say, which is smacking them with their wallets, and that's exactly what SKT were doing. They have way more money, as we caught a glimpse of it just there, but we decided we had to turn it off because it was too disgusting.
Yeah, that was not rated.
Yeah.
That was some
terms of service were really getting violated there. Much like Hanwha are in this particular game. Because SKT are just way too far ahead. And how do you get back in? I just don't know how you're supposed to... There's no way of recovering this unless the game goes into some sort of an agreement where SKT say, all right, for the next 20 minutes, we're not going to touch you. It's totally fine.
Well, I mean, if any one of the SK Telecom players happen to slip into a coma,
it'll probably be paused.
Would it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's in the rule book for surprise coma. As, I think that it's in the SKT rulebook because I guess that's their coach. But surprise coma is not necessarily one that means that someone's just going to be asleep on the desk.
Well, then I guess I don't know what else.
Yeah, I know. I don't know either.
I don't think there's anything else that you can actually really do then.
That was the comeback mechanic. Hopefully they get into a...
I can't even say like maybe a mouse has an error. That'd be a pause too.
That would be a pause.
What if all 5 SK Telecom players' PCs and their microphones stop working so the ref can't be alerted? And then they look back to motion the ref?
Well, it better happen right now because the Nexus is dying and SKT are about to win game number 2. They just pile drive Hanwha Life at the very end here. It's all too easy. They hop into the Realm Warp. What the heck was that? They bring the minions so they don't even get killed by the Nexus laser. The Fountain laser, sorry. SKT do fight back in game number 2. Some style points for the ending there. But honestly, I want to see an even game between these two. It was stomp after stomp. Game number 3 better be close.
I think game number 3 is going to be a fiesta.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because
I think
game 1 was very one-sided.
Yeah, true.
Game 2 was very one-sided. So when you put 2 one-sided things together,
you get a 2-sided thing. Don't you?
Yeah.
All right, and that's a Fiesta, and a Fiesta, the definition of Fiesta is two-sided League of Legends.
We are going to have 10 kills in the first 8 minutes.
I actually find it really interesting because
you know
I feel like the definition of Fiesta has evolved a little bit too far over the more recent metas, because since Tracker's Knife went, since there hasn't been as much vision in the game, you just have to play a little bit of Fiesta League of Legends in order to make any sort of proactive moves and take advantage of early game compositions, things like that. So when we talk about Fiesta, that's actually what we want half the time, because you need to be making these proactive choices. SKT did it in game number 2, and Hanwha had absolutely no option in order to get back in.
There was really almost nothing that they could do. And I mean, if we look at the draft, we understand what they're trying to do with the Vladimir and the LeBlanc. They also have the Kai'Sa scaling. The problem is that 3 of their primary champions deal so much magic damage. It's so easy to itemize against them.
And also,
it works against their mid-game explosiveness, even though that's where they're trying to go off.
And they've got a couple of Banshee's Veils, I believe, on the Galio and the Rise, and that just has so much value against this Hanwha composition anyway. I mean, Rek'Sai then can't just go for the burrow, and these Void Seekers aren't going to arm, things like that. So a lot of that catch potential just not going to be there. And this is honestly just a mirrored situation of what we saw in the damage graphs from game number 1. It's just you've got different names above the players.
And one of the things I want to point out, though, that leaves me a little bit unimpressed with this game is that one Mountain Drake that got away.
One away from a perfect game, guys.
So
But we did get a perfect Realm Warp, bringing all of those minions and the players into the enemy fountain.
Everyone got to go
that
into the
was cool. Yeah, exactly.
The fountain.
It was like some Oprah-style stuff. Everyone managed to make it into the fountain. And it also means that we managed to get ourselves a game number 3, Hanwha versus SKT. Will it be SKT that used the momentum to move into game number 3, or will it be Blue Side once again being victorious? Find out after the break.
커버 와줄래? 커버 가져. 야 이거 닦아.
미드 루틴 사람 있어?
나 이거 진짜?
제이스? 그 제이스래. 그 자르만 솔로.
와 나이스. 야 우물공 뭐야? 우물공 뭐야?
하고 싶어요.
MVP 뺏겼다.
MVP 소고기 양고기 사준다니까.
나는 그냥 이기면 너 양고기 사줄게.
검카.
아니 오늘 이기면 검수가 납사 사준대. 납사는 기본 베이스고.
여기 봐줘. 다 잡아 이거. 다 잡을 수 있어.
잡았어. 나이스.
여기. 끝내자.
나이스.
뭐야?
이겼다. 가겠다.
뭐 뭐야?
아 나이스 맛있는 거 먹으러 가자.
형이 산다고?
아 양고기 산다며. 아 나이스. 야 잡아. 나 밀어.
나이스.
하이파이브. 아 해봐.
야 우리가 바로 쳐도 바로 깨는 거야. 여기 우리 계속 보는 중. 먹기 맞아. 거의 잘했다. 펜타 이겼어. 무조건 이겨. 빨리 이겼어. 아 펜타. 플래시 노플. 야 펜타. 야이. 펜타. 야이.
대지용이야 대지용.
나 먹는 거 6초. 야 녹턴 오는 중. 먹는 거 파란 스마 때문에 좀.
야 먹고 궁으로 도망가자.
먹는 거 6초. 먹는 거 6초다.
야 도망가봐.
야나 끊겼어.
아니 빼자. 아니야 풀방탄. 뭐야 풀방. 야 누구야? 미안하다. 아 뭐야?
Telecom, and obviously LeBlanc able to itemize into the Banshee's Veil. It's not the best of feelings. Clid picking up the... Yes, he will have the and a stack up one of his Qs as Faker comes in here. And this means that Lava's able to approach the lane with the Tornado, throw it out.
To the
Cheap
side.
nothing. Yeah, completely whiffed.
But didn't want to mess with the minion wave. Wants that to shove towards him so that he can be a little bit safer in case the Lee Sin looking for some level 2 shenanigans. Some reserved play in the mid lane from our Yasuo friend. Crimson Rush, not going to be utilised there from Tal, but is able to get a cheeky auto after his Q.
You know, I absolutely love Klepto versus Klepto matchups because if one of the Klepto users just keeps rolling like a god, it really just tilts
Oh, yeah.
the opponent.
It's
the
even
best
more
thing.
tilting than if you don't have Klepto.
Yep.
It's if the opponent's Klepto is just better. Speaking of being just better, we got vertical jungling coming down here. It is going to mean that control of the bottom side of the map is going into the hands of SKT as Lava takes an absolutely horrific trade and even eats a whole bunch of minion damage, but evens it out again after landing that Tornado. That's a great news story here for the mid laner from Hanwha.
Bounces back a little bit as Faker has only used one of the corrupting potions.
I actually really like this. From Hanwha, we get to see who's going to be the best Yasuo. We saw Tempt actually play very effectively on the Yasuo last time out here for Hanwha Life. Haven't really seen it so much. From Lava.
Gold Satchel for Thal. managed to be picked up on the Vladimir Klid. Now, does know about Bono. Oh, man.
Yeah, Bono going to be able to clear this one out.
Oh,
no
that's a
red
kill
buff
shot.
for you, my friend. That's Klid with the 3 buff, and also might be able to punish Bono here, but decides not to. It's just going to let him slink under his turret. And the Gragas having a poor time. Actually failed to identify the fact that it was a 3 buff start here for Klid, starting on his red buff. Thought that maybe vertical jungling had him come in here in favor of Bono. Not going to happen.
One of the really interesting things here, though, is that Bono is able to hit tab. He's like, oh, okay, you only have 12 CS. Well, I guess this means that your Raptor camp and everything's still up. I don't know where Bono is going, but I guess he wants to back off because Faker had priority in mid lane, and if Lee Sin just comes right on over...
Oh my goodness, that was close.
Then things can definitely be bad.
Bono gets back home. You can see Tal sitting on 2 sacks of gold, but Khan has been
this is what I'm
using
talking
his
about.
each time. I actually saw one of them pop up, so
Okay.
Khan isn't that far behind. He's just a little bit more diligent of keeping his items a little bit more empty, and he's got a red pot, so that feels great as a Kennen, especially in the early levels, in fact.
We'll have to see how everything ends up happening there in the top lane, as so far Vladimir seems to be doing just fine. Bono now down here in bottom. Oh man!
Oh,
that's a 2
That's
for
the
1.
2 for 1 special, exactly right. There's the boot back. Nice gray health going to be utilized as the exhaust comes through. Not able to get the double tap there as Teddy can't find the last auto attack on Sangyun. They do get the heal out, but Teddy, he's got the teleport, and they've got a full minion wave that they're going to lose now as Lava's got inside track moving over to this blue buff.
And I really like what Lava's doing right here, is utilizing the temporary priority in mid lane. He comes over with Bono, and now they're going to actually counter jungle the Lee Sin. And Teddy not forced off the entire wave, even though he already committed to the teleport. Now, he knows that he's not on top of a ward, because Teddy and Mata have never had priority in lane and managed to get a ward in this location. So Klid...
Ooh, this is aggressive, though, here from
man.
Bono. Key's going to move over. Mata not on vision. Gets himself down there as there's the knock-up. But Bono is in so much trouble. Doesn't have flash. He's going to go down. First blood over to SKT. And that was just straight up a misplay from the jungler of Hanwha Life.
Yeah, Bono definitely being a little bit greedy there, going for the Gromp. It doesn't actually do anything. You, in fact, end up doing Lee Sin a favor, because it's level 1 Gromp. You're never going to be in a position to eat it again. And so you're giving your opponent a free rubber banded camp that doesn't really provide that much value for you. I definitely think that Hanwha Life fumbled the post-bottom lane play. Teddy definitely shouldn't have been allowed back onto the turret, given where Yasuo was and Gragas. And so I think Hanwha Life definitely missing out on a bit of opportunity. As meanwhile, back in mid lane.
Yeah, a lot of extra damage going down on a Faker there as Khan moves himself into the mid lane, gets himself the stun, but the cleanse is there immediately to answer. But that is a summoner spell going in favor of Lava.
Yeah.
Very satisfying as you watch the Yasuo clear out the minion waves.
This is a very unfortunate situation, as Lava has priority of the lane on a non-cannon minion wave, which does mean that he will get the crash. Faker will miss some of these minions, whereas normally on a cannon wave in mid lane, if you recall on it, maybe one melee minion goes into the turret and then the cannon starts absorbing all the turret damage.
Yeah.
And you get back to the lane and you don't miss anything. But on cannonless waves, you do end up missing out on some things, and now Lava is going to be the one that gets to return to the lane on a cannon wave and miss virtually nothing.
Well, Faker pops himself into this brush. Hook is going to connect onto the dragon. You can't bring that over the wall, Keith. Should know better. Sangyun hit by everything, as it is going to be the attack speed for Teddy. We should have known that, as lethal tempo did come in. I don't know how happy I am about it. I like the lethality Varus.
You know what I would like is if Blitzcrank's hook had a weight limit.
Yeah.
Because maybe that would explain why he can't pull Dragon, or he can't pull Baron and Herald. And
Does
stuff.
that mean that you can't pull, like
a Cho'Gath, right? That's
or
like
a
super
Scion.
stacked? Yeah, or a Scion. Maybe it just has a weight limit.
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be interesting, right?
Shouldn't it work the other way then? You pull the Blitzcrank to the target, and it becomes kind of like a
It's like a
very
thresh hook.
extreme thresh hook. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
We can have a chat to the balance team.
You know
about
what I
that
would
one.
like is a, Death Knights in WoW? The Death Grip?
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Oh, that would.
Just
or
a point,
Scorpion from Mortal
and
Kombat.
click. Blitzcrank hook, that'd be nice. As like an ultimate.
Point and
Nice.
click.
Point and click. I'd like that. I think that's balanced.
Yeah, I think that sounds balanced. It certainly sounds balanced. Sounds like a great idea. Sort of like the old Rise Q. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Just
I'm glad that
really
you're on the same page.
super balanced
Really
video
glad
gaming.
to have you by my side.
Yep. Hey, look, it's the Annie tactic, isn't it, really?
You're learning.
Yeah.
Have you been playing her lately?
Nah.
Probably haven't been winning them.
I've been playing.
Explain why.
Yeah, exactly. You can't win if you don't play, but you also can't lose, is what I've found. As Lava is happy just clearing out all of these minions. Very comfortable, but only has about a 4 CS margin, as Fake is going to be able to pull himself ahead in that farm after these minions do go down.
Sorkpen boots for Kennen as well in the itemization department. And interestingly, Yasuo going for the Berserker Greaves instead of a defensive kind of itemization against the massive amount of magic damage on the side of SK Telecom. And interestingly, Teddy looking like he wants to go Blade of the Ruin King. There's no tanks on the side of Hanwha Life.
I think the Blade of the Ruin King's synergy with the Ginsu's Rage Blade is just too good.
It is quite nice. It is quite nice. I'm just a little bit surprised that he doesn't go for the Wit's End to give the Kennen and the LeBlanc true damage.
True.
Inside of some of the team fights. You steal away enough of the magic resistance, the Sorkpen boots and the Oblivion Orb come in, give you the true damage onto the enemy team. It's really painful. And then also, you're going to be basically immune against the Vladimir because of how much magic resist you have.
The thing that I really do like, though, is Blade of the Ruin King against Vladimir, who just gets a lot of flat health, but not necessarily a lot of resistances. So you do get to shred him. But basically free, as he's getting shredded up towards the top side as well. Sangyun clearing out some vision down here, but you can see Tal is well and truly behind. Loses the turret plate there against the Kennen. What we thought was going to be a decent matchup for the Vladimir, but elsewhere on the map, things have gone poorly. You can see Bono is focusing on bottom lane's control. That's why the Hemomancer is struggling. It's going to mean that SKT do need to play very far back. Relentless Pursuit already used here.
Not sure what Teddy and Mata are doing, but Faker almost here. That looks like a very close encounter.
Well, SKT are actually capitalizing on it very, very nicely. Shelly goes down at just over 10 minutes. She's going to throw herself towards the top lane out of turret, and that's going to be even more of an advantage for Khan. Feels like the SKT win condition is get Khan ahead in the early game. He's able to then carry them to a position where they can win with the rest of the team in the late game. It's working out very, very nicely. Look at that, even Clit able to get himself a bunch of that extra gold. Good stun lance with the Mark of the Storms are activated. Shelly goes down and not going to find the second last plate on this turret.
Wasn't quite in range to try to go for a dragon kick and delete Thal before he was able to get into the Sanguine pool, so didn't want to risk it there, as Shelly did manage to pick up some plates.
And the thing that's come out of all of this is the fact that the Gragas-Yasuo duo hasn't been utilized almost at all.
Yeah, there just has been no synergy between the two.
And it's because Bono's been on catch-up duty this entire time. He's been trying to get himself back into a game against a Lee Sin, where theoretically the Gragas should have a little bit of extra priority around this jungle. In the earlier stages, Key comes in, tries to clear out this control ward, but Mata wants none of it. Only one cheeky auto attack there with those boxing gloves is what the Blitzcrank is allowed.
Ocean Drake coming up in 8 seconds. This is not something that either team really needs to fight over. Hanwha Life have 2 champions that don't even utilize mana.
Yep.
And both of these team compositions are a very all-in, we're going to go in one burst type of team comp. Neither one is poke-based, neither one is siege-based. And so Ocean Drake doesn't really do anything. Yes, SK Telecom already has one, but it doesn't really matter. They have 2 champions that don't utilize mana either. Hanwha Life, they're going to commit 4 champions to doing this. Faker not around. Teleport coming in, though. This is the weirdest thing I've seen.
Yeah, we've got double teleports actually from on both sides, as Mata is going to be the first one in here. Chains of Corruption do land. Sangyun gets himself out of the fight, but that is not exactly the culling that they wanted to see. Lava does find the ultimate, gets the flow back, tries to dive forward. They've traded 1-for-1 so far, but Mata is able to limp out of there. And it is going to be both the Gragas and the Yasuo going down. Fight in favor of SKT.
And SK Telecom, they managed to pick themselves up some kills right there. And Hanwha Life, they pick themselves up in Ocean Drake, but we already talked about that's not something that you feel that great about. And now they're going to lose some turret plates in mid. Thal is here, but he's not going to be able to threaten the Kennen or the LeBlanc. At least not enough.
Oh, wow.
For either of them to care. And because they go for the trade, they end up missing out on that second turret plate. And I'm unsure if LeBlanc's going to actually be able to get it before Yasuo returns to the lane. 30 seconds remaining.
Yep. You can see 4 still sitting there, so it's only 1 turret plate to go down.
Oh! You got it.
Yeah, he's going to be able to pick that one up.
That was calculated.
Thankfully, the change came in so that even if you aren't in range, you're still able to pick it up based on the timer, as that's the Devour in trade for the hook. I believe hook on less of a cooldown than the Devour.
Oh, you can see that Hanwha Life maybe really want to get the turret plate, or Lucian just wanted to try to stop the recall.
Does do so successfully. You can see Gromp is what SKT going to head over to.
Yep. Bertha going down. Agatha still up.
Yep.
Maybe on the menu for Clid, though.
Turret plates do fall. As Sangi gets hit by the hail of arrows.
We've seen them do this several times this game. They've never once really committed to it. Alright, we're just going to bring 4 champions down here to raise a turret.
That is going to do it. That is going to be first turret blade going over to Hanwha Life here on the bottom side. But SKT are now closing in. 4 versus 4 as Vladimir and Kennen are well and truly far away from this scenario. But it's Kennen that's getting more work done. And the Abyssal Voyage is going to get the inside track. I love this.
This is beautiful.
Yeah,
this
use
is
it for the
really
rotations.
Beautiful play.
All right, Faker, he's going to get hit, but just distorts to get out of the way of the cask. And there's the Hemoplague. Tal trying to get what he can done here. Doesn't land on Tomato, though, and he's able to just body block. They save the outer turret in the mid lane, but that is a lot of cooldowns. Not available for Hanwha. Bit of a botch, to be perfectly honest, and I feel like we've been really treated to some fantastic Gragas's recently, and Bono really having a bit of a horrible experience just there.
Hanwha Life don't really look like they know what they want to do in this composition. Everything just seems like people that are way too hesitant. They're being extremely cautious with their approach to certain things, and they're not really committing that heavily. And you can make the argument that, yeah, they have some scaling component. I mean, this was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in the world. Not only does SK Telecom commit to trying to stop the fight, and, you know, it ends up being a little bit better for Hanwha than it probably should have been, because Lava was very close to going down there before he was able to get his ultimate off. But nonetheless, it's just such weird priorities being dished out by Hanwha Life, and you can see Bono,
distortion
very
timing,
close calls.
pretty damn good, and then Mimic distortion timing, even better.
SK Telecom, they are ahead about 2,000 gold, 1.8 to be exact, but they're not out of the woods yet. There is still the extremely scary Wombo combos that will come in the later stages of the game. Static Shiv, the first item of choice for Lava.
Looks like he's going to go for the Sterix as item number 2, not going for the ultimate solo queue build in the Infinity Edge Rush second, as he has to flash to get out of the way of Faker and Cleared. We're following him in there. It's going to be a free one. Now Faker continuing to be aggressive. That is Runic Echoes complete, as we've got an Abyssal Voyage once more. Lava going to get immediately exhausted, and this is just Marta's ability to track down stragglers on the map and punish them.
That's a really nice pickup for them right now as the Yasuo continues to fall further and further behind. He is one of those champions in the game, though. He can be 0-10-0 as long as he's farmed up in terms of the CS department, though he's still relevant.
Yep, he's doing okay. Just looking for a side lane, wanting to be a nuisance.
Locate the champions that are knocked up into the air press are.
Yep.
It's a great feeling.
And it's pretty easy to do when you've got a Blitzcrank and a Gragas. There are a few knock-up opportunities there. Not exactly the full knock-up squad, not the bouncy castle. Okay, Faker, that was cute. That was really cute. I was blind as well. Just baiting it out.
Oh, doing quite a bit of poke there. To
Like
Bono.
it.
Teddy backing off a little bit prematurely. Mountain Drake coming up in 5 seconds, though. This should be very high priority for both of these teams.
Sangin actually going to soak a bunch of damage here from Faker, and actually does it relatively comfortably. Control Ward goes down, looking to clear out vision. Faker lands the chains here onto Key, and it is going to activate Piercing Light. Probably not the option that you want to go with when the distortion can be followed, as Khan very close to having his teleport back up, that it is still on cooldown for the moment. Hanwha Life are fast. They will be able to get themselves a dragon here. And it will be traded for the top outer turret and the mid outer turret as well. SKT going to feel pretty comfortable taking that one down. As the Mountain Drake from behind is what Hanwha Life have for themselves, and that's just not what you want.
Rotating up to the top tier too, and this looks like it's going to be a pretty easy pickup as well. And so we talk about one of the things about Mountain Drake is that it can end up being a dead dragon if you're too far behind to utilize it. And so SK Telecom, they managed to accelerate themselves here. At 18.5 minutes in the game, they have about a 4,000 gold lead. Yasuo pushing in and crashing that bottom wave as Khan is going to move to begin his split push down in the bottom.
Now SKT are a little bit routed here in the mid lane. This tower is going to take a fair bit of damage. Chains connect. But Tal is going to get underneath this turret. Now, the Vladimir is a long way away from this potential engagement. Khan looking for the flank lava. Once again, possibly in the wrong position. That is a great weight on the explosive cast, but Marta's able to flash himself to get out. The slicing Maelstrom is doing exactly that, and SKT's team fight just looks too good. 4 already dead. Songyun running for the hills, and SKT, they wish it was 1 minute in the future where they could pick themselves up a Baron. Instead, they're diving under inhibitor turrets to try and get this last remaining player on Hanwha's side.
And I think that fight right there, I think it was probably way too decisive in favor of SK Telecom. I think that the gold advantage in the game has probably slipped away from Hanwha Life Esports, especially because of the way that they've itemized up until this point. You can see no magic resist present on any of their champions, and with the items that they currently have, there's clearly no intention to go into it. So the Kennen and the LeBlanc are still going to be so powerful.
Yeah, this is a
for the
2-item
foreseeable
Kennen
future.
as well. Look at him. He's got so much money from this Klepto. He's really had a great time.
Yep.
Against the Vladimir, top side of the map. Zhonya's and the Morellonomicon, perfect for going up against Vladimir, and perfect for team fighting as well, and we saw exactly what it was good at. As our Lava tries to hit the LeBlanc with a wind wall, that doesn't do damage.
And maybe the one last hope for Hanwha Life is some sort of a Hail Mary Baron. You have the Yasuo, so definitely have quite good Baron taking potential. You have the Mountain Drake as well, but you can't be feeling too good right now. We'll take another quick look at this replay. Lava flashes prematurely because of the location of Klid and Khan. They end up managing to knock up Mata, but it just doesn't matter as Klid and Khan are able to completely destroy this team fight as Faker picks up Stranglers on the outside. Abyssal Voyage came in after that, but we're not going to cut to that part.
Yeah, exactly. And Pikachu just did Pikachu things. That was the
Who's
Thunderbolt.
Pikachu? Oh, okay, Kennen.
Yeah, and it did a heck of a lot of damage. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. You can see 2.7k. Nothing to slouch at. As this is a team fight that you win. It's one where the Vladimir doesn't actually get to do anything at all.
Yeah.
Again, he's going to be playing without that extra 10% CDR in his build. This is what he went for last time on the Vladimir.
A little bit interesting. He's only sitting at probably around 25%-ish right now, depending on if he has the CDR from the...
he does have Transcendence.
No, the other one.
And the scaling one in
Yeah,
his
the
rooms.
scaling one. Is there a name for that?
Scaling CDR.
Oh, yeah? Is that...
I'll probably give, that's what I'm going to call it. Lock that one in.
All right.
Tal and Khan, both of them going for a flanking play as the rest of the team from SKT just looking to start up this fight. You can see they're all stacked up. Khan, lightning rush is there, but no flash. Thankfully, for Hanwha Life fans. Get himself once again another fantastic team fight. He's got an easily large rod. He's going to be doing even more damage in these fights. But look at Teddy. He's 305. He's just cool, calm, and collected, getting himself to a 950 gold bounty on this Varus. Varus not exactly flashy, but does a heck of a lot of DPS.
Yeah.
If you give him enough time.
The only way for Hanwha Life to maybe come back inside of this game is if they can pick up maybe the second Mountain Drake and then win a team fight decisively. We saw Vladimir pick up the last Industry Large Rod a couple of moments ago, so can't imagine that he's too far off from being able to complete the death cap. And so that would obviously be a major item spike, as well as the Sterix on the Yasuo. So if they can hold off until those item completions, get themselves the Mountain Drake somehow, maybe they can win a decisive team fight. The bounties will propel them back into the game.
They do have pick opportunities, right? They do have the rocket grab. They've got a knock up from that as well, so they can chain that into lava. They've got Bono coming around and can land some of these casts that we've seen the likes of Cuz and Score do fantastic things with. Punch as well for Damwon earlier on in the week. So there are, like you say, certainly ways to come back in. The comeback mechanics aren't, let's just hope everyone falls into a coma at the same time, like you mentioned in game number 2. Because that one did seem like it was very over by about 20 minutes in. This time, it's a different story. Hitting about 23.5 minutes here between SKT and Hanwha Life, but it is certainly an advantage for SKT. 7.5k gold is going to be the difference, and it's going to take one of those Hail Marys like we were talking about in order to get Hanwha back in. Mountain Drake goes over. That's going to even out the Drakes. Between both of these teams, now SKT are going to focus on trying to grab themselves a purple worm.
Mountain and Ocean for both teams, as you did just mention. And now Hanwha are going to find themselves hard-pressed. It's a little bit of choose-your-own-adventure here for the Yasuo as he picks up a BF sword.
What are the options in this adventure? He said choose. We're going to have to hold that point. Clid going to go a little bit aggressive there onto Bono, but they trade a bit of their health bars. It's actually relatively even as far as that trade is concerned.
Not too much happening. This is a very bizarre lull state given the advantage that SK Telecom have. Maybe they're waiting for Khan to complete his death cap.
They got 3 items on Teddy here as well, so they're happy to go into an AoE team fight now with the Runon's Hurricane completed. He's very, very strong, guys. The arrow lands onto the champions, but they do manage to siege out this outer turret in the mid lane. That is going to be just some free money going back in as, okay, Bono doesn't find the last breath activation.
Holy
as
moly.
Faker takes the culling to the face, but Teddy just does way too much DPS, and Bono just whiffs it completely.
Oh, I was anticlimactic.
Yeah, well, that's going to be Baron, and maybe even the game going over to SKT. That's a whoopsie. I'm going to put that in the whoopsie column.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to have poor performances on certain champions to really give the big ups to the great performances that we've seen. So thank you for doing that work for us, Bono.
Khan is just threatening a flank right now, and so Hanwha Life, they're going to nope out of that one.
Yeah, that's a dead Baron.
That was like, you know in The Exorcist?
Yeah.
In Scary Movie 2? Guy walks into the room and then just walks right out as soon as he's...
Yeah, it's like, nope. Not today.
Yeah.
Well, that was basically what it felt like watching Bono go for that engagement here. And yeah, Lava was just like, you know what? I'm not going to go in on this one.
Yeah. Bono definitely doing his best Gragas impression right there. Maybe a little bit too much to drink right there on that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's method acting. That's method acting, and we don't want that. Not here. Not when it comes to Gragas. Alright, Khan clears out their minion wave. Does have the Baroned up minions now heading towards the base of Hanwha Life. Inner turrets are at a premium at the moment, as SKT are looking for their final one. 5 turrets to 2 is going to be that scoreline, and we're very close to a 10,000 gold lead for SKT. 26 minutes into this one. Feels like they shored up the issues from game number 1. And they're very happy that Sandbox dropped a game yesterday. Because even with a 2-1 victory, it means that SKT do move back up to 2nd place. Bono, in he comes once again as Marta gets the QSS flash in beautiful timing to deny the knockback. And SKT say, you can throw as many ults at us as you want, we're still going to win this game.
And now Faker looking for some sort of poke. Gets a little bit of it onto the Gragas.
Lands it nicely. And I feel like not all of it is Bono playing terribly. I feel like a lot of it is Bono getting constantly outplayed by Marta's Tahm Kench.
Marta Abyssal Voyaging down into the bottom lane. That is a massive wave. That's a thick wave, Atlas.
Yeah, and that's Marta also dodging a hook without actually having any vision of the Blitzcrank as well. Continuing to be great on Thomas. And that is that last inner turret that I was talking about before. And that is going to project SKT over the line when it comes to that 10,000 gold lead.
Just thought of a skin idea.
All right. Do we want to talk about it after the ensuing fight?
This isn't much of a fight, but you take it over.
All right. That's going to be Khan. Slicing Maelstrom does get himself one of the kills, does most of the health bar of Bono and Lava, and that is going to secure the base broken. Are they just going to push forward and try and win this game? I think the answer is going to be yes. Not a lot of flashes remaining here as Teddy's got so much DPS. 4 members still alive here from Hanwha. They have some more buttons. And the explosive cask has just come back off cooldown, but I think the damage has been done, to be perfectly honest here. They take down 2 of these inhibitors. Lava is going to tank up the Sonic Wave. Khan just looking for it once again. He wants to rip apart the rest of this Hanwha squad. Nexus turret's now under fire. Lava doesn't find any of the knockups there. That is going to be the knockback, but no last breath is going to be employed because Lava just didn't have the health bar for it. He gets back onto the fountain. 1 second until Tal is back up. SKT might need to pay respect to the Vladimir that does have the death cap as Lava just taking way too much damage. Windwall does come up to save his life. Devour comes in there. Okay, that's a lot of damage as Faker is going to get taken down. Lava is going to life. Devour comes in there. Okay, that's a lot of damage as Faker is going to get taken down. Lava is going to survive, but Devour comes in there. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Taking way too much damage. Windwall does come up to save his life. Devour comes in there. Okay, that's a lot of damage as Faker is going to get taken down. Lava is going to survive. Devour comes in there. Okay, that's a lot of damage as Faker is Windwall does come up to save his life. Devour comes in there. Okay, that's a lot of damage as Faker is going to get taken down. Lava is going to survive, but Tal just can't do it. Nexus turret's now going to fall. The piercing arrow is going to come in. Key, not a lot of options here as the Blitzcrank does land the hook on Tamada. He gets hit by the last breath, but the Nexus is going to get taken down, and SKT find the reverse sweep, and Hanwha put it to the ground in Game 3.
And that was a relatively clean game number 2 and 3 by SK Telecom. Definitely game 3. They got some really massive advantages that all stemmed from that one middle lane fight where Hanwha Life had no business being as far up as they were.
Yeah, and also that overstay from Bono on the bottom side. Trying to get Bertha, I believe. Trying to take down the Gromp there on the blue side of the map, but there was vision available. And it just wasn't enough punishment. You can see big smile on Sungyun's face. Him and Khan good friends, but it is going to be the SKT win that we were all expecting moving into this series. They've been getting a few 2-1s though recently, losing a game to KT, now losing one to Hanwha Life as well.
They're spreading the love.
Yeah, they're getting the desired results, but also just giving us our money's worth. Thank you very much, SKT. Just want to see more of the Dream Team on the ring.
Well.
Also, I just need to apologize for cutting you off when you were talking about your skin idea. Because that fight led all the way up until the very end of the game, and so I'm sure everyone at home really just wants to hear about your skin idea.
Well, I'm sure that fight was more like the Cell games. You know, when Hercule fights Cell?
Yeah.
So, you know, I've seen that a couple of times, so I knew where that fight was going.
Yep. So, I've actually seen those episodes a few times as well.
Well, then why were you excited?
What do you mean? I mean, I was just excited because I wanted to hear it as well.
Well, then why were you excited? So when Hercule fights Cell?
Yeah.
So, you know, I've seen that a couple of times, so I knew where that fight was going.
Yep.
So,
I've actually seen those episodes a few times as well.
Well, then why were you excited?
What do you mean? I mean, I was just excited because I wanted to hear it for myself, you know, to make sure that's what you were talking about.
All right. Well, the skin idea is, you know Thomas the Train?
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah.
Thomas the Tank Engine. What if they made
a Tank Engine? And is it going to be voiced by Ringo Starr as well?
Now you're thinking.
Oh my goodness.
These are some pretty good skin ideas.
That sounds absolutely amazing.
What if there's a Super Saiyan 3 Yasuo skin? Blonde hair with electricity that cracks when he has the third tornado thing?
Yeah. That's really cool. All right, Faker waves to the camera. I wonder whether that man is going to pick up an MVP for himself for his